Yeah, I'm trying my live session today. I'm going to talk about how to get student visas in America. I know. So most people here want to come in community colleges, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and PhDs. All these have many opportunities, but before you even embark on any of these processes, you need to have something called a bank statement. And I'm going to spend time about bank statement. People ask me how much should be on the bank statement. And I tell them, you know what, about 22,000 US dollars. About 22,000 US dollars minimum per year to all the way to 45. If you go to 60,000 US dollars per year, that is extremely expensive. The closer relationship you have with the person who is sponsoring you, the better. But even if it's a distant uncle or auntie, if they raised you, maybe you're an orphan and they are helping you, that is fine. You really have to be ready to explain in case they ask you. But for the most part, they don't even ask why and why that person is sponsoring you. Okay, having said that, that bank statement has to be at least 3 months old. 3 months old. So if you're applying in June, for example, you need a bank statement that has been printed for April, May, and June. That way you're ready. Now, if you have a heavy, let's say like a deposit, you need to have receipts showing where that money has come from. Is it a car you sold, property you sold, a house you sold, or where is the money exactly coming from? That is a very good idea. Be prepared to explain why all of a sudden your bank statement has swollen. It has to be a legitimate bank statement. So once we establish that we have a bank statement, we are almost halfway through. When it comes to community colleges, that is mostly what they need, plus what? Your high school education plus your passport. The reason being, if you're applying to a community college, they might need these things immediately because your chances of admission are very high. So they want everything at a go. They approve you for your admission, then they issue something called an I-20, which I need to explain an I-20 in details. When it comes to master's programs, they will not ask for the bank statement. Most schools will not until they are sure they are going to give you a congratulations letter. Once they give you admission, then they'll go ahead and ask for what? A bank statement. That is just my experience when it comes to universities. They take their time to give admission. Community colleges can be as fast as 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, even 2 months. But universities can take 2 months, 3 months, even 4 months to give you admission. It's only after they give you admission that they will now ask for a bank statement. Otherwise, they will not issue an I-20. These ones, bachelor's degrees, you have to prepare standardized testing. International students can get away with the standardized testing, and we are talking of the SAT, which is a college exam, okay, college board exam that is needed for bachelor's degrees. If you are a foreign student and you have done SATs, your chances of getting a scholarship are much higher than someone who has not done that. So prepare what we call standardized tests. It's not a must. Again, it's not a must. English proficiencies, they will need those for a bachelor's degree. TOEFL, IELTS, and other types of exams. They will need credential evaluation, which means you send your high school education or any other education to the evaluation agencies like World Education Services, ECE reports. They'll produce your level of education, tell America your level of education and the equivalent education here in America plus a GPA. Then you can use that to get what we call admission, basically the I-20. Apart from standardized tests, credential evaluation, and English proficiency, and the bank statement, they will need you probably to write statement of purpose, and all that, and have recommendations. Master's degrees, they need standardized testing, mostly the GRE, graduate record exams. They might also need what you call standardized testing, okay, graduate record exam, GMAT for business, and they will also need a bank statement. They will need you to have English proficiency, IELTS and TOEFL, and what else? Credential evaluation with WES or ECE reports. Okay, master's degree has a high chance of getting admission. Okay, people in their 20s, 30s, and even early 40s, really, this is the time they come for master's programs. Even if they don't have a travel history, usually they have a chance of getting those student visas. That's just my experience. Let's define this I-20. What is an I-20? I think if you do not have the knowledge of what these things means, that's why you struggle even to get these visas. So number one, what is an I-20? An I-20 is an immigration document. First of all, before they give you admission, they produce a special number. It's created right at the school level. It's called a service number. and it's printed on that I-20 document. That is the document you'll take to get a visa. Once you take to the embassy and they give you a visa, they record that number. Once you get the visa and you travel to America, the port of entry, they record that number. Okay, and they will know. So if you miss school, they will just follow that number. If the school reports that number, they know that it's you missing schools, and then you can have the consequences of, being in removal proceedings. Going back home, they'll tell you, no, you came as a student and you are not utilizing your student visa, so we have to let you go back home. So the I-20 document is the most important. It's not that congratulations letter, you've been admitted. No one cares about that. It's that I-20 and the bank statement. Now, they don't even ask for those bank statements. Mostly, they want to see you face to face. We need to do that coaching so you can get visas. So those are mostly the requirements they need. What are the benefits of taking your time and preparing for these standardized tests? I think is the truth. People that need Empower loans. So you want your education to be sponsored. You want to do more. You want to engage in English proficiency. You want to do credential evaluations. You want to credential evaluation, standardized testing, and English proficiency. Your chances of getting student loans become very high. Case in point is, of course, the Empower loans. Now, if you want Empower loans, do not go and apply first. Then you go looking for Empower loans. You start by the Empower website. You see which schools they sponsor. Then you choose among those schools. And most of those schools that are with Empower are more likely to have higher time-consuming activities, which I've just mentioned: English proficiency, credential evaluation, standardized testing. Okay, now if you do not want that loan, then that is the time you can just say, me, I'm in a hurry, I don't have money, I don't have time to prepare all these things, I just want to go get my master's. Of course, there are some schools that don't need all these things. You just have to do intense research. But for those who put in the time, not only will they get Empower loans, they are more likely to get graduate assistantships, they are more likely to get scholarships if the school is offering those scholarships. So that is the process of getting these student visas. What are the benefits of getting student visas? Some of you want to come here and stay permanently. It's a good pathway to get a career. It's a good pathway for you to improve your education. But after graduation, you can have internship. All international students in the United States get a chance to do internship. Okay, what is internship? We call it OPT, optional practical training. For regular courses, it's 1 year of internship. Get a work permit anywhere in the United States. If it's STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you can get up to 3 years of work permit in the United States. You can do a lot with working 3 years. You can get enough money. You can now, by the time you go home, you have enough money to build your apartment, to build somewhere at home, right? Yeah, so there's a benefit of those. That's why you used to hear people went to America and now they have a nice home, they have a nice car. It's because they've made use of getting the knowledge, getting the experience, and then working for 3 years, and then voila, they're home. Now they have a family, now they are married, but now they have a career back home, busy changing society. Another thing I've seen people do that student visas to change professions. They change to nursing. Why? Because nursing has just a good pathway to give you a green card, and these people normally their intent is probably now to stay in America permanently, so they choose to invest their time in that kind of education like nursing, so that they eventually get a green card and stay in America permanently. So that is what is happening on student visas. And if you have any questions on all these things that I'm saying, of course, is janetrangi67@gmail.com. We have a lot of knowledge. We meet people every day who came on a visit visa. Then they want to change. They change status successfully. Then they join people on a student visa with all these benefits that I've talked about. Can be done by someone on a visit visa instead of overstaying your visit visa. Instead of overstaying your student visa, you need to look for these options. If you're one of those people who needs that kind of help staying here permanently, of course, janetrangi67@gmail.com. janetrangi67@gmail.com. Do not overstay your visa. There are many options for you to stick around and not be in problems, okay? And thank you so much for subscribing, okay? Remember to subscribe. Remember to follow, remember to share. We'll see you in the emails. If you have any questions on student visas, please don't hesitate to write us in the emails. So thank you so much for always coming, and thank you for watching me, okay? I will see you in the next video, okay? All right, so I need to end this video unless some of you have questions. I did not see any comments.